What up? What up? It is Alex, the Fantasy Football Hustler, back at you, and we are bringing you another episode of our IDP Divisional Depth Chart breakdown. We are breaking down the AFC East, and we are starting with the Bills. I go position by position. Let's start with the defensive linemen. Pretty ugly over here. We had high hopes for Greg Rousseau once upon a time. I don't know if we're ever going to get a breakout year from him. He's just very decent to mediocre, somewhere in the middle there, pretty much all the time. Ed Oliver and Dequan Jones, those guys were randomly good fill-ins like during bye weeks last year. So I'm not saying draft them, but just make sure that they're on your radar over there. The real boss hog over here for the Bills is Terrell Bernard. Should be drafted as a top 5 IDP. If people know what they're doing, they're drafting him there. A lot of people might not know him. He's not a household name, but killed it last year. Matt Milano, I feel like more people know about Matt Milano. He's just getting old.
Simmons is old.
He's just old. Not really worth drafting. At the strong safety position, we got no Jordan Poyer. It's different over here. We got Taylor Rapp, who was the backup last year. And I wonder if they brought him over here knowing that Jordan Poyer probably wasn't going to be here another season. And I would get Taylor Rapp. You're getting him super late, pretty much free. He's going to rack up the tackles. Someone who kind of came on last year, Teron Johnson, their nickelback. Someone who racks up the tackles for sure. And those would be the 2 DBs that I would be targeting. Rasul Douglas, Mike Edwards at the free safety position, not really. Not I want a higher upside than that. But Taylor Rapp and Teron Johnson, you want to go cheap with some DBs. There's 2 DBs that you can get really late just on this team alone. But yeah, Terrell Bernard, to the moon, baby, to the moon. Let's jump over to the Dolphins here and getting into their D linemen. Zach Seiler and Calais Campbell is over there now. Calais Campbell always seems like maybe he's not a guy worth drafting, but he's a guy worth picking up randomly. And yeah, he gets to the quarterback. Zach Seiler, he was a good fill-in last year in some bye weeks, but that's about it. Jalen Phillips really sucks. He got hurt last year. I believe it was either a torn ACL or a torn Achilles, one of the two. Didn't look good. He's penciled in as their starter as of now. Let's see if he's going to actually miss any time, like towards the beginning of the season. Their interior linebackers, David Long Jr., he's been a solid flex IDP like option. I don't know if I'd be drafting him, but someone that you could probably pick up off of waivers on some bye week fill-ins. Anthony Walker Jr. and Jordan Brooks. So I thought that Jordan Brooks was just going to be penciled in as a starter, but Anthony Walker Jr., they got him above right now. And we'll see if Jalen Phillips doesn't play. Maybe we get some guys moving over. Bradley Chubb, another guy who got hurt last year. He was on a tear. I don't know if he's going to start the beginning of the season, but they also got Shaq Barrett over there. They got Chop Robinson as well. So they're going to have a nice little rotation of guys, like either way, who are going to be playing the exterior linebacker positions. I do like their safeties over here. Javon Holland, they moved him from strong safety to free safety because of Jordan Poyer. Hopefully it still leads to a lot of tackles, but we liked Holland when he got up in the box. That just changes things. And Jordan Poyer, though, no matter where he goes, he's going to be grabbing. He's solid, just no matter what. Like, he's a guy who's going to rack up points. He always has. I feel like until he can't run from sideline to sideline, he's going to be a guy just getting tackles. And then I don't know how to pronounce his name, but their nickelback, Kader Kohu, he gets a lot of tackles. He's out there a lot. He's a sure tackler. There were games where he was in the double-digit tackles. He's a guy who you put on your watch list. Like, really, I don't want anybody. Tino just said it. I think the only guy I'd grab on this team would be Poyer. I'm feeling the same. You got a lot of question marks with a lot of these guys. I feel like I wouldn't draft them, and I would just be watching these guys in the first couple games to see what happens. And that's all I got to say about that. And here we go with those goddamn Jets. Shout out to Big Daddy. On the line, Jermaine Johnson. Again, I'm nervous about him because are we finally going to get the breakout year? We've been waiting for it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm not going to draft him. Quinnen Williams, though, he's someone that I'll draft. He gets a lot of tackles. He gets to the quarterback. He's, for anyone who watched the Jets when they were on Hard Knocks, he only has more skill and talent and better footwork this year than last. He's a beast. He gets to the quarterback like on demand. Hassan Reddick, I'm a little bit nervous about drafting him. I feel like he is going to be splitting a lot of time like over there, and even if not splitting, but Will McDonald, I know they really like him over there. So I'm probably not going after a guy like Reddick. For their linebackers, though, CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams killing it. I think everybody would rather have Quincy Williams a little bit more than CJ Mosley. Quincy just has a nose for the ball and gets hella tackles. Now, in their DB spots, I know that most people know that Sauce Gardner is one of the best DBs in the league. If you play, or one of the best cornerbacks in the league, but if you play an IDP 1-2-3, he's not like amazing for IDP 1-2-3. I would just let somebody else like draft him. Their safeties, Chuck Clark, Tony Adams. I know the strong safety has done pretty good for a while on the Jets, just randomly. Probably not worth drafting though. Chuck Clark, we know a little bit of his history. It was Ashton Davis last year, and he did okay. But yeah, there's not really too many people that I want as in the DB spots for the Jets. I would rather have their linebackers and their linemen if I'm going to be drafting. The guys who are drafting: Quincy Williams, CJ Mosley, Quinnen Williams, for sure. Those would be the guys that I'd be targeting. And there's a few other guys, like I said, along the way who we might be interested in getting. And last but not least, the ugly Patriots over here. Their offense should suck. So if they do, that means we're going to like their defensive players even that much more better. I don't really like anybody on their line, so we're not even going to talk about their line. Those guys are good for the NFL. They're not good for fantasy and stat padding. They're interior linebackers. That's who I'd be going for. Tavai, they just gave him in the bag. And then Juwan Bentley, those are going to be the guys. They rack up hella tackles over there. Matt Judon, I know he goes in spurts. So I don't know if I'm going to be drafting him. He's more of like a bye week fill-in like type of guy. Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, their strong safety, their free safety. Those are the guys who are going to be racking up the tackles over there for sure. And then Christian Speedy Gonzalez, if he could stay healthy, like he started off real hot last year and then he got hurt. And so we didn't get to see him play out the rest of his rookie year. But the way that they were using him as a hybrid corner, linebacker, safety, like they had him all over the field. It was interesting to see. He was getting a lot of tackles because of it. Let's see if they do the same type of things this year with them. It would be awesome to see. And then Marcus Jones, he's the only other DB that not the only other, but the 4 DBs that I'd get here. But Marcus Jones would be the other DB, and he would be their nickelback. He gets a lot of tackles. He's probably, I don't even know if I'm drafting him actually now that I'm talking about it. He's more of just like a bye week, like fill in type of guy. But I feel like he's consistent enough, has a good enough floor to where during some of these bye weeks, he's someone you can definitely get to fill in. All right. And that is it for our AFC East IDP Divisional Depth Chart Breakdown. Make sure that you go join our 420 community, 420 fantasy community at 420crew.com. You can get fantasy advice over there. You can, and it's from me, you can get league, you can get into a bunch of leagues over there. A lot of reasons why you want to join the community. And I'm going to shout out the producers of this show, and that's another perk that you get by being signed up. All of our 420 crew members, our all access members, our elite members, our superstar members, our ultimate members. We appreciate you guys. Salute. And we will see you for the NFC South very shortly.